As you guys might know, and if you don't, now you do. I'm a certified personal trainer. I have my exercise physiology degree, and I know a thing or two about a thing or two when it comes to exercise and healthy weight loss. In fact, I trimmed over 100 pounds off of my own frame. So yeah, I can speak from an authority of knowledge, expertise, training, and then also doing the work myself. And plus, we got a nice nifty top 5 list about the misconceptions about weight loss and healthy eating. So I figured, why not, as somebody who has stumbled down this road blindly and guidedly in some instances, why not do a little personal investigation myself and take everybody along for the ride? Can you get fat from eating late at night? Yes. Should you cut all carbs if you're serious about losing weight? It depends. We've turned researchers on this topic. We could go to the experts on this to separate myth from fact and set the record straight on healthy eating habits. Are carbohydrates bad for you? Depends on what type of diet that you want. I'm just going to throw that out there to begin with. I, of course, always highly recommend the low carbohydrate diet, but are carbohydrates bad for you on face value? Highly refined carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, yes, of course, but eating fruits and vegetables, no. Those are, at their base, at their core, they are carbohydrates in some form or fashion. So blanket statements like, are all bad? And it's like, no, of course not. Carbohydrates are one of the three major, they're the macronutrients, right? You got fat, protein, and carbohydrates. That's it, okay? Providing the body with energy and various essential nutrients. However, there's a link between eating too many carbohydrates, refined carbohydrates, and obesity, increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease. For instance, people at risk of diabetes need to be especially careful when consuming carbohydrates foods, as carbohydrates have the most direct effect on blood sugar. Simple carbohydrates, right? Some will spike blood sugar, right? So should we cut back on eating carbohydrates? No, eat the right type is critical. There it is. Carbohydrates are the main source of energy. Not necessarily, but at a 30,000 foot view, yes, for the average person, because the average person was also brought up on the idea that 10 to 12 servings of grains a day was the right way to eat. Thanks, food pyramid. If you're fat adapted, you don't need that many carbohydrates because your body's going to break down fat as its primary source of energy. But whatever, especially for the brain and nerve system. Nope, ketones. Ketones will pass through the blood-brain barrier. The brain is about 2% of your body weight and can consume roughly 20% of the energy. I wonder why. American dietary guidelines recommend that we consume 45%, 65% of our body's daily calorie from carbohydrates. Oh yeah? Tell us more about the bought and paid for food pyramid. If carbohydrate intake is not enough, the body will consume fat as energy, which is probably preferable. This is how the keto diet worked. It strictly limits the intake of carbohydrates, promoting energy generation from fat. In the keto diet, the liver uses fatty acids to produce ketones to provide most of the energy for the brain. The keto diet itself is not actually invented for weight loss. It was invented by Dr. Russell Wilder at the Mayo Clinic in 1924 as effective treatment for drug-resistant epilepsy in children. But yeah, no, it's proven to be very, very good. And like I said, yes, right types of carbohydrates, even the ketogenic diet, okay, talks about this as well. Carbohydrates are a rich source of dietary fibers, the right ones, okay, minerals and vitamins, yeah, which you can also get from animal byproducts as well. So carbohydrates foods include unprocessed or minimally processed whole grains. Minimally processed, like shucking and removing shells. Okay, I'd accept that. Vegetables, fruits, and legumes. Don't be eating beans, anyways. Which provide our bodies with the energy that we need, as well as a rich variety of nutrients. Bad carbohydrates are obvious, but for posterity's sake, highly processed refined foods such as white breads, pastries, sodas, cakes, candies, cookies. These foods never have fewer nutrients and higher sugar content, obviously, which can make people obese and spike their blood pressure. Are dietary supplements good for health? Yeah, if you can't come across the micronutrient that you're properly supplementing from in a regular dietary format. Supplements can be useful for filling the gaps in your diet, she adds. This is Carol Hagens, the consultant and registered dietitian. She might have stared at a book or two at a time or two. with the National Institute of Health says it's possible to get all the nutrients you need by eating a variety of healthy foods, so you don't need to take supplements. Yeah, we know. Okay, thanks, tips. But not everybody lives in a bustling metropolitan area. Many nutrients, which when extracted from food, do not necessarily have the same effect as they do in the food, and may even cause side effects. The National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health has shown that eating foods rich in antioxidants can be beneficial in preventing chronic diseases. However, taking large doses, see what the problem is there? Large doses of antioxidants from supplements may increase the risk of diseases such as cancer. Large doses, but then they don't quantify what qualifies as a large dose, okay? Moreover, dietary supplements may interact with certain medications, but if you're doing it right, you shouldn't be on too many medications to begin with. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Is eating late bad for weight loss? Yes. Study in the British Journal of Nutrition found that eating after 8 p.m. was not associated with excess weight or increased energy intake among minors aged 4 to 18. Wow, nice specific study. When's bedtime, by the way? Okay, are these kids going to bed at 10? Are they going to bed at 12? Are they going to bed at 9? Like what's the time frame that we're working with here? Okay, and then comparing and contrasting the metabolic state of a 4 to 18-year-old, that's a big gap because you're talking pre, intra, and post puberty. So that's a big sample size. However, another study showed that people who ate at night 11 to 5 a.m. consumed 514 more calories than those who did not eat at night. Over time, people who ate at night gained an average of 5.4 kilograms in body weight. Over how much time are we talking here? Because that's like 10 pounds just about. The article analyzes that people who ate late at night tend to consume more calories and make unhealthy food choices. Yes, because you have less mental capacity, because you're more tired, apparently, at night. So you're not going to have the theoretical willpower stay on the wagon, so you might reach for 2 or 3 cookies instead of just having 1 or none. However, eating too late, especially before bedtime, will also affect digestion and increase the burden on the body. See, that's what's important, okay, especially about that first study, is if you can't properly digest before bed, that's going to be a problem. So that's what I mean about eating late before bed. My general rule of thumb, 2 hours before bed, okay? Your body at least has an opportunity to process the food that you just ate. So cut it off then. That would make much more sense. Is breakfast the most important meal of the day? No. Fruit contains sugar that is bad for health. In excess, yes, fructose. Fructose can only be processed by the liver, and in excess, it gets stored in on or around the liver, creating a fatty liver, and is overall bad for you. Anyways, all know about how sugar is detrimental to the health, so some people avoid fruit indiscriminately. In fact, unlike refined sugars, fruits contain less sugar. They also contain other beneficial ingredients. Does fruit contain less sugar? It's a nice vague statement that you have there. Why don't we check that out? Free sugars are monosaccharides, glucose and fructose, and disaccharides, sucrose or table sugar, added to foods and beverages, as well as sugars naturally found in honey, syrups, fruit juices, fruit juice concentrates. Reducing free sugar intake can reduce the risk of tooth decay and obesity. Dr. Francesco Branca, director of the WHO's Division of Nutrition and Health and Development, said, "We have solid evidence that keeping intake of free sugar to less than 10% of total energy intake reduces the risk of overweight, obesity, and tooth decay." Cool, that's nice. While fruit sugars may not be bad sugars, one common mistake people make is consuming too many servings of fruit. That's what I mean. And there's your fatty liver problem, especially in drinking fruit juice. Yes, unknowing consuming multiples of their daily recommended sugar intake. For instance, a sugar in the bottle of orange juice can be equivalent to that of 6 oranges. Yep. And that's all fructose, by the way. That's just not going to be processed in any other place outside of your liver. But that's not to say steer completely away from fruit. If you want to eat fruit, it's obviously better than just sitting down with a bag of potato chips. But know the problems as well. But this article isn't going to tell you that, but at least I will. So, in conclusion, fruit contains sugar that is bad for health. Yes, in excess, but you also have many other benefits besides that as well. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Don't make me laugh. Eating late is bad for weight loss. Yep. Are dietary supplements good for your health? Of course, for filling the gaps. If you're just eating or consuming them in excess, then they're just as worthless as anything else that you consume in excess. And are carbohydrates bad for you? Not all. So that was kind of fun. Boy, I know some people just, believe all of this stuff, and some people are very, very dumb. But if you were wondering about any of those, hopefully that helped clear some things up for you. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.